Hello, and welcome to Nothing Yet Studios. I was just watching a video by gameranx titled "Why is COD Infinite Warfare Getting So Much Hate?" And it just kind of inspired me to say something about Call of Duty, and I could be completely wrong about this. I hope that you would leave a comment and discuss this, but um, really, honestly, I can say from personal experience, I was a huge Call of Duty fan. I don't really know anybody who enjoyed first person shooters who wasn't a huge Call of Duty fan at some point in their life. Call of Duty, I can't really tell you the history of it. I haven't done really a whole lot of research on it. It's just really impromptu, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it and throw it up there for you guys to see. But but as a response to him, one of the things that he kind of like, I don't know, he puts out as like a main issue is that Call of Duty's kind of just become a mess, and and people don't like the idea of just being kind of a resource, just being a piggy bank for the big gaming industry, and how that just kind of irritates people just in general. And I would say that it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. I don't really mind being a resource. I know that when I supported Total War Warhammer, for example, there's a lot of people who had problems with some of the things that they did in the game. I can kind of see both sides of that argument after playing it. I especially see with Warriors of Chaos how they're just so much different than the other races, and why maybe they actually had to build some stuff for the campaign that they wouldn't have had to have built if they just kind of appeared as giant armies. And so I can see that. I mean, it's not a really like a valid argument, and I'm not arguing for it or against it. I'm just saying I bought it and I purchased it, and I knew that I was a resource to them. But I'm not disappointed at all with the game that I got. I enjoy the game that I got. I've played it. Oh, I don't know, probably 100 plus hours. Actually, I can check real quick just to see. Uh, 219 hours. 219 hours. I've played it a lot. I've had a lot of time off too. Some of that is probably me leaving it on overnight. So I'd say about 150, 160 hours. Um, but I don't know. I think people expect to be a resource. If you don't expect to be a resource, then you're foolish. Businesses are built to make money, but they're built to make money off of supplying you within a capitalist society with something that's worth that money. So they don't just expect to walk out and just throw money at me. They expect to present you with a product, make you feel like you really need to buy it or that you really want it, and then collect money from you for that product in exchange of that good or service. And I think people are really upset with Call of Duty because Call of Duty, I think, has had for a while kind of an identity crisis. It doesn't necessarily fit the mold of any particular type of shooter. Like even the guy from gameranx was saying, it's kind of a realistic arcadey shooter maybe thing. Like people don't really know what they're getting when they buy a Call of Duty. It could be this or it could be that, and then on top of that, I mean, honestly, I stopped playing after Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops. Black Ops, I think, was my last one. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops were the last two that I played. Um, and they were great games. I enjoyed them. They were a lot of fun, but um, I realized that I liked the tactical, realistic shooter, and I moved on. It's kind of like I guess you say Call of Duty is kind of like a gateway game, or has kind of always been a gateway game. It's got its competitive side. It's got its kind of tactics to it and everything, but in the end, it's kind of a little mixture of two different things. And the problem really kind of comes down to the fact that, I mean, you can get better games that do similar things. An arcadey tactical game that's kind of realistic, but also kind of unrealistic. I mean, you've got Halo, Titanfall. There are other first-person shooters that you can jump into, and then you can get into really arcadey, like Overwatch or oh crap, that game. That anyway, or like Counter Strike. That there's there's a lot of tactics and team play to it, but it's very arcadey. There's nothing really that realistic about it. And then you can jump over into realistic shooters, where are crawling through the brush, and really trying to be quiet, like your old your old Ghost Recon games, and you know my mind's going blank. It's kind of late. Um, I can see it right in front. Rainbow Six, and kind of Battlefield more. And you know, I think the thing is that people feel kind of betrayed by Activision, and they're kind of pissed off at Activision because when you have something that works and sells millions of copies, you know, you don't just pump out a new game every single year on the same basis with similar textures and just slight improvements to graphics every year, then come out with a year's worth of DLC to drop and then drop a new game. That betrays your people. I think about games like Payday 2. All right, Payday 2 is a fun game, obviously kind of nichey, but that game, man, I've got 635 hours on that game. I've played that game so much on Steam. I've got 162 achievements, which is pretty good. But you know what? They have come out, at one point it was like 162 out of like 200. Now it's 162 out of 414. Like, they know how to make money. They release a new, $10, $15 DLC every couple of months with, a new bank or a new place that you can heist, a new place you can rob. But you don't feel like they're just cash grabs, because the new levels, not only you can play them if you don't have them. So if I join a game and somebody else is hosting and they have the new map, I don't get booted. It doesn't kick me out. I get the update. I just can't host it. And in my opinion, they're a company that's done very, very well with a game that is a lot of fun to play, and I go back to it all the time. And I don't think Call of Duty does that. I think that I think their people are starting to realize that they're not getting anything out of the money they're putting in. Every year they drop $60 on a new Call of Duty game, and it just sucks. It sucks. It's a game with a lack of identity. Call of Duty was one of the first games where you could customize your guns. You could customize your guns in a kind of arcadey style. Most of the time, your arcadey style games where you had your guns, you go shoot whatever, Counter-Strike, you buy your new guns and whatever. But in Call of Duty, you get 10, 15 kills with this gun, you unlock a new scope. You get 10 or 15 headshots, you get a new paint job. Like, there was stuff to work for. You felt like you were accomplishing something. It was a lot of fun. And on top of that, it was one of the only games, like, I think back to Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. Really, honestly, I could do either. I could get in a ghillie suit and lay in tall grass, or I could throw on a knife class and up my sprint and just run around the map with a double-barreled shotgun and a knife, and that's all I cared to do, with the tack knife. I remember all that stuff. That was fun. And they were both effective. One was obviously unrealistic. The other one was a more realistic way to approach the game. But now it just, I don't know. Ever since Battlefield came out and other games became options, like, it just doesn't, it seems to struggle to find its place. It seems to be the problem. It seems to struggle to find its place, and it doesn't seem like Activision cares about its customer base enough to establish something new and something special with it. They seem to kind of copy. When I saw Advanced Warfare, when I saw Black Ops 3 and everything, I was like, oh, look, it's kind of like Titanfall. Oh, look, it's kind of like playing Halo. I mean, you have this little power, it pops up a shield, or you can jump twice. Okay, cool, you could do that in Unreal Tournament. These are cool concepts, and yeah, they're probably fun, but are they worth $60 for a slightly updated texture and the ability to do something you could do in a different game 10 years ago? I don't think so. I don't think that they're really giving them something every year for $60 that really makes it worth it. And so, again, back to the start of the video, I don't think it's that people hate the fact that they're a resource. I think it's that people hate the fact that they're a resource, but that they're not respected as a cash-paying customer. If I go into a restaurant and I sit down and I order food and I'm paying for my food, I expect to get good customer service. Whenever the food comes out, if it's not good, like there's been a couple times, I'm not one of those people that's really picky. If I say medium rare and it's a little bit more medium than rare, I'm not going to complain about that. Not unless I paid $80 for the steak. If I'm at Chili's, I'm not going to go, oh, it's not perfect. Well, it's Chili's. You don't eat steak at Chili's, expect it to be perfect. But if I order a well done steak and it comes out bleeding, well, yeah, I want to. Hey manager, this is what's up with this? What's going on? And I want him to go, oh my bad. You know what? We'll give you a 5% discount and put this through. I got a computer repaired the other day at this wonderful place. There's a little plug. I'm not in any way like associated with them, but I think they're great. If you live in the Shreveport area or the Bossier area or anywhere near, there's a place called Computer Problems that does just decent computer work. They're nice people. They're good people. They have free diagnostics, so they will look at your computer and tell you what is wrong with it and not charge you a thing. And then they have a flat $100 fix-it rate. You need a new hard drive with Windows installed on it? Okay, cool. As long as you have the key code for your Windows and a hard drive for them, they'll install it, put everything on it, back it up, all that other stuff. You want viruses wiped off of it completely, malware and everything else taken completely off of it, $100, done. It's one of the only places that does that. The other day I brought them a computer and something happened. They activated the Windows and everything on it and were doing some stuff, and she was wiping some candle wax that had been spilt on the side of the computer off the computer, and the computer, when she turned it back on, just died. Like the Windows just didn't work. And so she had to go through, she felt bad about the fact that she had to go through and delete my friend's stuff to reinstall Windows because there was no way that she could get it to work any other way. She had several options and none of them worked. So what did she do? Well, she had some spare RAM laying around from some old computers that had tanked, that matched up with his RAM, so she gave him a small RAM upgrade. Not a whole lot, nothing you'd pay more than $10-20 for. But it was just something. It was something. She took care of him. And that right there, whenever I walk in and she goes, look, I don't know what happened, but I have to do this, what do I do? And she calls me on the phone. I'm like, go ahead and do, reinstall Windows 7, upgrade to Windows 10 for him. He'll appreciate that. Oh, well, I added 3 gigs of RAM because we had it in the shop from a computer that was dead, and it's just something that we wanted to throw in, no extra charge. Because you're a valuable customer, you use us a lot, you recommend us to our friends, and I don't want y'all to be disappointed with what's going on. That's amazing. That's fantastic. That's customer service. If I brought my computer to Geek Squad and that happened, what do you think I would get? I mean, I worked at Best Buy for a while, and I liked it. I love Best Buy, and I love the guys that worked in Geek Squad, but they're bound by big business red tape. Same thing with politicians. Big business red tape. They can only do certain things. They can't really admit to any wrongdoing. Look, we did everything according to the right way. We're going to reinstall it, but you're not going to get anything extra out of us. And yeah, you don't necessarily deserve anything extra, but if you want to be treated like a customer that they want to return, you need to feel like you're getting something out of it. You need to feel like you're really being treated well. And that, I think, is what people are starting to really get pissed off at Activision for. They're not getting treated really well. They're getting meh updates to the same titles. They got a game that still doesn't really have a solid place in the world. And a game with an identity crisis, a company that drops a new one every year and doesn't slow down to stop and go, you know what, we're going to take a couple of years off from the Call of Duty thing. We're going to really think about and figure out what fans want, what you guys want, what we need to do. And so I think that you're going to, hopefully you'll see a reflect. If you want to make a difference, I say the same thing about the X-Men movies. If you want to see the X-Men go back to Marvel, don't buy tickets to the X-Men movies. I don't go see them. I don't buy them. I might rent it from the Red Box, but I might watch it if it pops up on Netflix. But I'm not going to go see it in theaters. I'm not going to buy tickets. Why? Because the sooner X-Men start flopping, the sooner Fox will have to give the rights back to Disney, and we can have Magneto as the father of the twins, and we can have all of the X-Men back in. You can have Avengers vs. X-Men story arcs. You can do all kinds of cool stuff that I would really appreciate seeing. I'd like to see all of Marvel's characters back in Marvel hands. If you want to see Activision take care of their customer base, you got to make them feel it. We're the only thing that matters, the pocketbooks. Because if you guys go on and dislike a video 2, 3, 4, 5 million times, yeah, okay, so they're gonna, okay, the trailer was bad, whatever, but then whenever they make the game, you go out anyway, you buy it, and it breaks records again, just like Call of Duty always does, for no apparent reason. They're not gonna feel any of that. They're not gonna. They're gonna go, okay, well, it must have just been trolls. Now it could be. It could all just be trolls. There's no telling. You might really love Call of Duty and like the way it's going. That's fine. there's nothing wrong with that. But if you wonder why they're losing their business, I honestly think it's because people are tired of being ignored, and they have got to start treating their customer base a little bit better, or else they're going to just lose them. Eventually people will just get so tired of it, lose all trust in them, go to a different company altogether, and they'll never be able to get people back. So, but anyway, there's a little rant for you guys. I hope y'all liked it. I hope it was pretty solid. I hope it was clear. I hope that man, I hope that it's not too, ridiculous. But let me know in the comments what you think, and this is Colby with Nothing Yet Studios, and I'll see you guys on Twitch and YouTube in the future.